my goodness gracious. Well, hello everybody. It is a new day, day 11 of the live stream. And we're trying to do this one a little bit differently today. Gonna settle in and try to kind of mix it myself from right here and see what it's like. See if anybody's on here and watching. We'll give it a little bit of time. Oh, we don't need all of that echo though. Kind of mix it myself from right. There we go. Hey, Christy Agresti and Bruce Rockman. Howdy, howdy. I'm just sitting here and letting a few people come. I'm streaming both here and to my YouTube channel. I'm hanging out here with Deuces. Deuces was our mascot at the tennis center, and he has made it home. He was a Valentine's gift, and we needed to kind of keep him with us. So he is back here in the studio now hanging out. He is that pet that lays on the floor and keeps you company, makes you feel like everything is all well and good in the world. I hope your day's really good. See, there's a couple more people have come in. We're going to get things rocking and rolling here pretty soon. This is certainly about not doing things conventionally. Let's get started. So I've been a coach for, gosh, don't even know how long. It started out with being an assistant football coach at my old high school. I was working for a small PC software publishing company, kind of get kicked out. I decided I was going to help out first as a volunteer assistant football coach at my old high school, Lexington High School, and then an volunteer assistant tennis coach in the spring. I guess that must have been 1992, so long time ago. And over all these years, I've had a chance to coach people from the very beginning of their journey, all the way up through those that were getting pretty close to the sharp end, definitely the sharp end of junior tennis. Coached people, I guess, as high as 2 in the country, and the 16 and unders, 4 in the country, and the 18 and unders. Coached someone from their very first ball to winning a gold ball, a USTA National Surface Championship. So I had a pretty good run as a coach. One of the things I've always thought was the skill set I had was probably more valuable as a business coach or a personal coach to executives than it was to young person playing tennis, someone who was actually themselves actively seeking coaching and wanted to implement the things which we were trying to do. So in the process of coaching, I've always felt like it was about doing some things that you didn't normally do well. And what I mean by that is coming out of your comfort zone. And we had a little logo we developed and it was called the Learning Zone logo. And it was about kind of coming out of your comfort zone. So if you were to look at the logo, center of the logo is your comfort zone. And your comfort zone is the place where you operate. You don't have to think very much about it. There's no stress. Your heart rate doesn't ever go up. And then we have, outside of that, is your learning zone. Now, your learning zone is a place that is, somewhat uncomfortable. And then on the very outside of that, we have the ring, which is called overwhelmed. And at overwhelmed, very little learning ever happens. You're just overwhelmed. It would be, in case me trying to play tennis against Roger Federer or Rafael Nadal. The only thing that I would learn from that experience is I'm way over the hill. I don't have the skill sets to compete with those kinds of people, and they're just really good, and I'm not. So we want to kind of stay out of that. If I could animate the graphic a little bit, which I can't do or haven't done, what we want to do is we want to stay in our learning zone as often as we can. And as we stay in our learning zone, the things we become comfortable with expand. And so if you were to look at the graphic, you would see comfort zone getting bigger. Learning zone would probably stay about the same width, but it would move out and it would cause the overwhelmed space to shrink and to get smaller. That's what we want, is we want to take that space which is overwhelmed and we want to make it as small as we possibly can. So how we do that is by constantly identifying places where we're not super comfortable and finding ways to work in those areas more and more often. So an example for me is what I'm doing right now. I'm not comfortable with having to switch this show and be the person on camera talking about a subject. So every time you see me and I'm over here looking at something, I'm looking at thing that says, well, who's watching? Andre's watching, and Bridget watching, and Curtis watching. And thank you all for being here and listening to what I'm having to say today. You're helping me get better at what I do. So me getting and looking at these things and punching buttons gets me where I lose my train of thought. And, so today, fortunately, I'm trying to talk about something I am well versed in, which is helping people come out of their comfort zones in order to get better at something. It's what I've done for 25, 30 years at this point in time. So how you find those things is really about taking an inventory of all of the skills that you have and matching it up against the skills you would like to have, and whatever it is that you're doing, whether it be you're involved in a sales job, marketing, engineering, playing better golf, and then saying, okay, well, which are the ones that I'm really good at that I need? Okay, good, check those off. Don't necessarily want to spend a lot of time on those. Which are the ones that I feel like I need in order to be more successful that I don't have? And then how do I work at those enough to become competent enough at them that I'm able to be successful? And then how do I stay in that space all the time? I was at a tournament this weekend with my daughter, and we were talking. She was playing doubles, and she was talking about she doesn't feel comfortable when her partner's serving on the ad side, her stepping across to the middle and poaching when she has to hit a backhand volley. My thought was, that's awesome. Her thought was, why is that awesome? And I said, because now we know where you need to spend time in order to improve. And so it's about figuring out how am I going to make myself do it more and more often, become comfortable being uncomfortable. And that kind of really is that key phrase for staying in your learning zone. Your learning zone is about becoming comfortable being uncomfortable. And how do you stay there on a regular basis? For her, doubles is a hard place to do that, particularly in a tournament, because she has a partner who's counting on her in order to be successful. So her doing things she doesn't feel she's good at, that's a hard one. But in practice, certainly, all the time. As someone who is in the business world, I have to fight the things that I don't like to do. So one of them is making phone calls. I really just have reached a place where I love talking to people, but I like looking people in the eye so I can tell what the emotion is. I feel like people bluff a lot behind telephone calls. So I'm looking for all of those communication things which go beyond the actual words that someone says. Now, I can get intonation and some other things which give me some more clues, but I don't see body language, which is probably the biggest for me. So I have to find ways to make myself have more phone calls all the time. So I got to pick up the phone, call people, have conversations about business, about things I don't want to have, and make myself do it, because that's where I come out of my comfort zone. My comfort zone is send a text message, send an email, try to find the times when it's really convenient for somebody, wait for somebody to call me, as opposed to me reaching out. So, got to find those places where you are in your learning zone. And once you reach a level of comfortable in that place, then go back, start all over again, find something else, or push your ability to do something even more. So maybe I'm comfortable talking to somebody on the phone, but I'm not comfortable asking them for money that they owe me. So I'm having phone conversations, but I'm really avoiding the key topic. So now my key is to not go through and make everybody real comfortable in the conversation, but to say, where's my money? That's just an example. Where are the things you're uncomfortable, and what is it that you're going to do in order to become more comfortable? Have some David O'Sullivan watching, BJ's watching, Colin, wow. A lot of people came and watched the stream today, and I thank all of you for coming. Martha, hey, and I love it that everybody's taken a little bit of time to come and watch what it is that I'm doing. I'm just working on learning. I will be coming here every day for the foreseeable future and talking about something where I believe there is value for other people in understanding. Today was about comfort zone versus learning zone. How do you come out of comfortable, go to learning, but not push yourself so far that you are overwhelmed, where you just become panicked, become frustrated, look and say, man, I'm never doing this again. So that was what I was trying to talk about. One of the things I found, because this is day 10 of me actually doing these live streams, is things are starting to slow down for me. So I'm still super uncomfortable with being on camera in front of people, trying to talk about something where it makes sense and I'm not just rambling. But it's getting better. Right? It can slow down just a little bit. The pauses, they don't feel quite as much like, man, somebody went and ate dinner in between the words that I said. So that's getting a little better. I can feel myself right now, as we've gotten it, actually slow down, get a little bit more into my natural tone. As opposed to the beginning, I was really up high and I was talking from up here. It's one of those things I've got to learn to do right from the very beginning. And the fact that there's a camera out there where you are, and not feeling like, I've got to yell to get out there. Knowing that the reality is, the source where it's capturing the audio is right here. I don't want you to grab the mic and hurt all your ears. So knowing that I can just sit here and the camera could be 2 miles away with a zoom lens and coming in, and I just need to be just my regular, everyday, normal self. So that's what I'm going to be working on doing over the next few days, while at the same time trying to figure out how do I switch, just so everybody can see. I have another iPad over here which has, well, who's watching. I can't really turn it around for you right at the moment, but it's telling me who's on the stream and watching. And I need to be able to do those things more easily in order to be able to do streams where I'm not just sitting here and somebody else is over running the show, switching the show, being the producer and the director, so that I can do this all by myself whenever it is I want to do it. Because that's how a lot of people are doing it. And my goal is to be able to help other people with whatever they're doing. And as a coach, one of the things I always did was I tried to do the things I wanted someone else to do so that I understood how it felt like and where the key elements were and what it was that was going on. So that's what I'm doing. I am well into my learning zone. Last summer, I felt like the same thing would have been overwhelmed. I went to bed a lot of times, posting things on Facebook like Sergeant Schultz, and I know nothing because I really felt like I was Mickey the Dunce in everything that I was doing. Not quite at that place anymore. There are some things I'm actually really good at now, and some things that I still need a little practice, and then there are still those things which are totally overwhelming to me. But that's how life is. That's where I want to be. I want to learn. My goal is to help you learn. So I'll be here tomorrow. I hope you are too. And I hope you have a great day today. Bye. Peace.